the role of parent voices is to shape policy, to give the perspective from the people who are receiving the services, to allow us to make informed decisions about where we can create positive change in our communities. And I know you've shared some of your stories about how you've been able to give that input. Thank you for the whole childcare thing. By the way, we appreciate not having to do 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, right? Less paperwork, less trouble. So one of the questions I have for you is what makes this feedback process work and what's not working?
Well, sorry. Well, for me, I would say, reforming, CalWORKS about the sanctions. Back then, as I progressed and had more children, I needed to turn in some documents. And right after I had them, I suffered from postpartum depression. And I don't want to do anything. I got a baby, my stomach just got cut open, it's hurting, my brain is not functioning right, my mind is not functioning right, like nothing is functioning right, so I don't want to do anything. I want to go home and just be in my nutshell, take care of my baby, and that's it. So I got sanctioned back then. I got sanctioned for not turning in a birth certificate and social, and I testified in immunization. And so I testified with that story, and they changed, they reformed it. There's no sanctions until the first 90 days. So that was awesome. That was amazing because I was actually heard and it got changed. So. Anybody else?
Belia, tell the story about how when you testified at the hearing the first time and what happened with the people on the dais.
Okay, so like I said, when I went to my first Parent Voices event with Stand for Children, it's because my mom actually worked for the Central Valley Children's Service Network, which was an R&R in Fresno, and she couldn't go that year, so she told me to go for her. And then I went to the Stand for Children, loved it, and then the next year they had what they called the Knowledge is Power. And because my mom said, well, you're taking my place from now on for all these events, I went with the organizer from Fresno, Lou Hernandez, and they were talking about the budget hearings. And then Lou asked me, do you want to go to one? I was like, sure, I'll go. Well, so we get there listening, and she goes, oh, get ready to tell your story. I was like, huh, what? And then she's like, yeah, you're going to speak. I was like, yeah, you didn't say anything about this when you asked me if I was going to go, but okay. So as I'm watching before I get up there to speak, I'm noticing the assembly members, legislators, they're just on their phone. Honestly, like they're hearing people talking about numbers and all kinds of other stuff that's like really, to me, wasn't even really important either. Because, like I said, but they were on their phones. I got up there, I started talking about my situation and how my childcare, I was getting to stage 1, how I got just dropped to the stage 2. Literally seeing them, putting their phones down, putting their heads up and actually listening. And then that's what I said after everything was done. DSS workers actually came up and started speaking to me and wanted to help with my situation. So that day I was just so grateful that she made me talk. Even though I did not know what I was gonna say, that I was even gonna do it, but I'm glad she made me tell my story because I felt heard.
Yeah, and I think that, it's the personal stories that really have an impact, right? They are what makes the difference. And I think that, when we talk about changing policy, I think it's so important that we think about how we approach that, right? We don't want, as parents, and I hear parents tell me this all the time, we don't want to just see a policy that you already figured out and you all created and then say, hey parents, what do you think about this, right? And then let us tear it apart or tell you what's bad about it, right? What we really want and what our hope is that we will be real partners in creating the policy from the beginning, right? So that our solutions, our ideas our real lived experiences can create better policies from the start, right?
Yeah. And to add on to the story, the next year when they were doing the Stanford Children, I remember this now, they actually had a bill that they did that they wanted to do the whole screen share for the information. It was, I think it was like AB 105 or something like that. Yeah, but I remember they had me retell my story on the state capitol steps because of that bill. So, like I said, I really did feel heard because they actually tried to make a bill for that reason.
Yeah, it was actually part of the stage one from day one bill, where we wanted to make sure that resource and referral agencies who were doing stage one childcare, because some counties do it and some R&Rs do it, right? That they had the ability to have a read-only screen to be able to see when the last date of cash aid was, and those 9 data elements for transfer, right? And that was part of that bill for a purpose, because what happened, we kept seeing over and over, is that parents were being dropped between stage 1 and stage 2, not because they didn't still need services, but because of these challenges with data sharing, right?
And another program that you were involved in, but I don't think anybody else on the panel was involved in, was the CalWORKS process. And so just being involved in the CalWORKS process, what did that mean? And what can you take from the model?
Yeah, so CalWORKS, Parent Voices was actually very involved in that process. I was so excited to know that we were gonna start thinking about how to look at success in the CalWORKS program beyond work participation rates, right? There's so much more to whether a program is successful or not successful than how many people do we get to go back to work, right? There are so many different measures of success. And so, we went on this journey with many people probably in this room to re-look at, like, how can we look at success differently? And, I don't know how many measures there are now, but many, many more than work participation rates, maybe, 20, 30, 26. Okay, yes, 26 different measures. And then the whole sort of continuous quality improvement process, and counties being able to work collaboratively with each other to develop plans to do better. And Parent Voices was really very much involved with getting all of the tools that you all have access to ask parents how it's going, right? So focus group questions, surveys, both online surveys, phone surveys. We have a whole toolkit that I'm sure we can send out again to you all. But for you to really be able to ask parents, how's it going, right? And when we were talking earlier today, they were like, wouldn't it be amazing? You know how when you're on the phone with the bank, and then after they say stay on for a survey, and you can choose to stay on for the survey? Wouldn't it be great if we could do that at the county and talk about how that just went for us, right? And so those tools are available. There's something that you all can use now to see how things are going and how parents are experiencing your program. And those tools were created by parents, right, that were from the program. Just really quick, too, I want to say that the way that we were asked to join that process was really amazing. They really made sure that parents were able to participate. They honored, when I go to a meeting, I get paid to go to the meeting, right? Y'all get paid to go to the meeting, right? So often, parents don't get paid to go to the meeting, right? And so they honored them by making sure that they had an honorarium for attending, for their expertise that they were providing, right? They made sure that their childcare, their transportation, their food, they made sure they had interpreters. They made sure everything was translated. They made sure that they had pre-meetings and post-meetings so that all of that jargon that's used in the meetings could be explained. And so that after the meeting, they could say, ooh, I let that question marinate a little bit, and I actually have some more to add. And we were able to come back to it and add that additional feedback, right? In addition to that, there were little things that, Director Johnson then and Secretary Johnson now did, which was, one of our moms was had just had a baby, and she was nursing her baby. And so she made sure that there was a room nearby the room that we did the meetings in so that mom could go nurse if needed. It was just those little things that made all the difference in the process of being able to really authentically participate. And we're doing that again now with the Transforming CalWORKS work group. And it's another opportunity for parents who are that are on this stage, that are experiencing the program now, to really be partners in creating what the new system is going to look like, right? We're creating a new workflow for CalWORKS and a new program and all of the changes in Reimagine. And it's so exciting to know that the parents from the beginning are true partners in creating that.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Go ahead, Lisha.
Just something really small. All right, I forgot. Because I had a brain. It was so good too. It was really good. I'm gonna try to remember it.
When you remember, let us know, because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
Sing Under the Sea, and it'll come right back up. It works.
So one of the conversations that we were having earlier today was, first and foremost, listening to Secretary Johnson and all of the directors talking about this opportunity to shift and transform CalWORKS into something new was inspirational and aspirational. And I think one of the challenges that we have as a program is that it doesn't always translate from legislation to delivery. And there's a lot of, you all remember playing that game of telephone? And you get the message, and then one person tells the next to the next to the next to the next. It doesn't always get down to the people who are actually providing the services. And that's one of the opportunities that we really have here today at this conference, is that each of you representing your organizations has an opportunity to take this message back into your counties, into your tribes, into your organizations, and really think about reimagining what CalWORKS can look like. And one of the things I would like to really encourage is us to move away from that mindset of why we can't. There's a lot of barriers, let's just be honest. There's a lot of reasons why this might be challenging. But what would it look like if we could shift our energy from why we can't to how we could? How can we? How can we do this given our resources? How can we given our circumstances? How can we with the staff that we have? How can we partner with our parents and really making sure that we transform this experience? And so that's the question I would like to ask our parent panel here today, is what's an example of a time that you have felt like a co-creator in a program or service, and what made that experience meaningful for you?
I'm gonna say our Reimagining CalWORKS advisory board, because at the advisory board, the parents, like, we all get to say, and first of all, let me first start with the first day of the advisory board. They had like all these questions, and the words was like kind of big, and it was kind of confusing. And then they had, what is it called? The mural board, where you have to click out of the link, the Zoom link, and then go over to the mural board, and it was a lot, and then nothing was like organized, so it was very hard to like keep up. But after like this, as soon as we told them, like, you know what, like, we're having like some problems, some issues, we can't keep up, they immediately said, what is it that they can do to help us? And basically, we just wanted to talk instead of going to the mural board, and they said, well, go ahead. And they, they made the questions more simpler. They numbered them for us. Like, every day, if there was a problem, the next time we came to that meeting, or even in the meeting, switched like that for us. So they met us where we was at, and it wasn't like a problem. So, yeah, sorry appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Lachey was saying about them changing things, because during most of the meetings, I was at work. And for it to be like almost 2 hours, I did use my lunch hour for most of it, but I'm on my phone doing this. So like she was saying, to switch from a Microsoft Teams meeting to go to the mural board and then to try to zoom in so you can type, it wasn't happening. So, so we had our own little chat on the side, so we'd be texting Jennifer like, hey, can you tell him to do this? But then we were like, you know what, let's just say it ourselves. Instead of having Jennifer speak for us, we just say it ourselves. So we did, and we appreciate being heard. We really do.
I also think that, we've been really lucky at Parent Voices to work so closely with the department, and we are this close, groundbreaking news to creating an actual advisory committee of parents, 10 parents that will be from all across the state, who will have an ongoing, active way to have input into the policies that are happening and being created at the state level, which is so exciting and really groundbreaking. And it shows a real commitment from the top that they really care and want to create a system that's better for families, right? And so, in that parent advisory committee, parents will have an opportunity to weigh in on home visiting, on domestic violence programs, on transforming CalWORKS stuff, and on many, many other things. But it's really exciting that we have this new opportunity.
Very cool. All right. Well, we have a virtual audience too. It's not just everyone here looking pretty, right? There's people.
Okay.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
You guys are viral,
Yeah.
viral.
Yeah. And so we have some questions from our virtual
We sure do.
participants.
Let's see, I think the mic is working. Okay, so we have a comment first from Stacy saying, thank you for having the courage to come and share your stories, both the good and the bad. Because of this, I plan to reach out to our local chapter and hear and work with our parents. We also have some great questions coming in. One question regarding childcare. What would you say to participants who reject childcare because they're afraid their children will have a bad experience?
Family, friend, and neighbor, right?
Yes.
Family, friend, and neighbor. Their mom, sister, anybody could watch anybody could care for their kids and still get paid. 18 and over.
Yeah, I think parents don't know that, okay? They really don't know. They think that they only have the option to have care if it's outside of their home. Sometimes it's because they were in the program a while ago and there was some different rules around caring for children in the home, right? You had to live at a different address, and now that's different, right? You can have somebody that lives in your home care for your children so that they can stay in their bed at nighttime. But yeah, I think family, friend, and neighbor care is a really big opportunity that's being missed, right? Making sure that families get many opportunities to learn about childcare too, because I think, when you're walking through that welfare office for the first time, first of all, you're probably in crisis. No, you are in crisis. Yeah. Not probably, you are in crisis. Some kind of traumatizing thing has probably happened. And you're probably not in the best space to be hearing information about what's available to you, right? And so making sure that we have many opportunities to share that information in different ways, right? So not just the one meeting where they sign away their right to childcare in that packet, right? But continuing to go back and ask if they need it after is really important. If they start school they need childcare. Do you know how many times I've talked to parents in the Spark program, which is like another advocacy group for moms on CalWORKS that are in school, who say that they had no idea, this is literally in the last year, okay? They had no idea that they were eligible for childcare and that they were literally watching each other's kids during class time and that they were making sure that their schedules were they weren't taking classes at the same time so that they could each watch each other's kids. Like, they're all eligible for childcare. They should be getting full-time childcare from the start, right? But they didn't even know it was available to them. And so, how is that getting missed? I don't know, right? Like, I know it's in every packet from the beginning, right? But like, it has to be offered many times and asked in many different ways.
Thank you so much for that. We've got another question for you. What rules of the CalWORKS program do you think are pointless or unnecessary? And what rule do you wish we canceled today, and why?
I kind of feel like, again, being that we live in the Bay Area, they only want you to make, you could only make like 26, or was it $2,800 a month in order to qualify for the benefits. When my rent is $3,000, I pay for groceries, I pay for a car note, I pay for insurance, I pay for, for clothes, shoes. That needs to go. Like, or at least up it, make it a little higher. Yeah, and not no 20s. That part it has to get revised. Please and thank you.
Jasmine's gotta have something here.
I was going to echo the IRT as well, because for a long time I did not qualify for cash aid, so I was just getting the CalFresh, but I finally got my $1, yay. I'm going to spend it all in one place. Yeah, so definitely the IRT needs to be raised, because we live in Cali. Like, it's expensive. Yeah.
Anything else that you can think of? What needs to go today?
Them phones, the 1-800 numbers. We need a 925-706 number again, where they say hello, even if your work ain't available, the worker of the day. You need to be able to talk to a human, because that waiting on the 2 hours.
And then when they pick up, it hang right up.
We're not AT&T, right?
I think that we everybody on this stage, I'm sure, has experienced the very long hold times on the phone, and I'm sure that you all are the recipients of the people who have been on the wait line for a very long time. It makes for very unhappy people, right? So we have to figure that out. I think figuring out like communication is going to be really important, and I think we have some new opportunities there with our, with technology, and I just learned today. Carl told me that some of y'all are doing Zoom meetings. What? I mean, come on, that sounds amazing to me. But yeah, I wanted to share really quickly. My daughter is on CalWORKS and CalFresh and Medi-Cal, and she had an active case, and then she had a new baby, and she was a preemie, and she has a very serious heart condition, and she needs her Medi-Cal, right? And you have 30 days after that baby is born to get that baby added to the case. And we diligently, I'm her mom, come on, right? We worked really hard trying to get that baby on that Medi-Cal case within 30 days. And, she had cardiology appointments, she has specialists she's seeing, she's in the NICU. And we couldn't get her added to the case, right? Like it was on the 76th day that we got her finally in. We left countless messages for a worker. We left countless emails. We were in we were on, on the online system leaving messages. We left messages for supervisors. We couldn't get anybody to answer a call. Like, we literally couldn't get anybody to answer a call. And finally, we were able, with some help, to get her on Medi-Cal. But that should not be any mom's experience, right? So a policy that we can change is giving new moms a little more time to get their paperwork in before their Medi-Cal is cut off.
Can I add onto that maybe for like the whole thing with the new moms? Actually having a set worker, because no one has a set worker anymore. So that's like one of the big things is like you're jumping from this worker to this worker to this worker when you're calling every time. So it's like they really don't know what's going on if you had that set worker like we did in the past where they actually know your case a little bit better, so they know a little bit more of how to handle and how long that they have to handle that too.
Yes, that's a conversation a lot of people have, right? For sure. So just wanted to ask, I know is there 8 chapters of Parent Voices in the state?
That's right. We have San Diego, LA. Hey, LA. We just added LA, so we're really excited about that. We have San Francisco, Oakland, Marin, Sonoma, Contra Costa, and Santa Clara. Yeah.
So if there's anybody out there from a county that's not named, or even kind of remote or northern or central, that were interested in opening a chapter, what would be the process?
You can contact Jennifer at parentvoices.org or Mary at parentvoices.org, and we would be happy to talk to you about how we can collaborate and work together.
We have more questions online if you guys are game. Yeah. Okay, all right. So this question from Jeremy: in thinking about making CalWORKS participants a driving force in their welfare to work plan design and CalWORKS experience, can you name the most empowering question ever asked of you by an eligibility worker or welfare to work worker?
I'm sorry. Nope.
What's the most empowering question that you've received?
What's the most empowering question?
That you've been asked. Want them to ask you.
Either,
Okay.
that you've been asked or you would want to be asked.
That's good.
What you thinking?
What do we-
I want them to ask, what do you need from me? How do you want to live your life? Do you want us to help with school? Do you want us to help? You have an 18-year-old son now, does he need help with finding some sort of program? I want, for the welfare office, I kind of feel like they should have like some sort of partnering with the education source, for trade schools for teen parents, and for, not just for teen parents, for mothers, for women, and for men, young adults, and middle age, all age ranges, partner with some sort of trade school, for nursing, welding, HVAC, it's a lot of different trade schools, and that can be offered to us so we can get off these programs sooner than later.
And then I'll add, basically, what are your goals? Because first of all, we need to know, where do you see yourself, where you know that you possibly can't get yourself to right now. So what are your goals? And then you don't need to even ask me how you can help me, but you can probably use some of your resources to figure out these are the things that I can help you with, and if I can't help you with, I can probably send you to somebody else. So the welfare was probably need a life coach, because that's a lot for workers. We asking a lot. So probably just need some life coaches.
What do you think, Jasmine?
Oh, I was just gonna say that the most powerful question that was asking me was if I was okay, honestly, because I wasn't. I was not okay. So that was powerful to me, because as parents, we're trying to get everything done for our kids. We go to work, She was in school, going to work, taking care of her kids. And after being at work all day, dealing with the people that you have to deal with at work, because we have to deal with our own customers that are rude to us, asking, how are you feeling? Or just your mental. How's your mental state of mind? Do you have a therapist? Do you believe in therapy? Do you need a therapist? And I believe everyone needs therapy. I'm just saying, it's the best thing ever. Literally. But yeah, are you okay was the most powerful one.
How about you, Delia? What's the most powerful question?
Well, like Jazz said, like the asking if you're okay, and then, I mean, yes, I would like someone to ask me what I would like for my goals and everything, but obviously if I'm in a distressful state at that time, I'm not gonna know it. So at least just asking me if I'm okay, what you can do for me right now, and then let me know what I can do for you in the future.
Exactly. I love that.
I think the most powerful thing somebody asked me was, when you were growing up, when you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up? And it helped me sort of like, because I'm in crisis, like my husband had just passed away, like I'm grieving, I'm going through so much, right? But it helped me for 1 second to just like remember what it felt like to be a little girl and to have hopes and dreams and to have these aspirations of a better life, right? And so I think, nobody up here gave an answer of like some technical thing or some like big, hard, complicated question. We just want to be seen as humans, as people, as people, and we want to know that somebody cares and that we deserve to have the help and support. That's all we want.
All right, we've got more questions. Thank you for sharing your experience and for answering with such vulnerability. It takes a lot of strength and grit to do what you're doing right now. And I will speak for myself, learning so much and appreciate my colleagues here who are busy taking notes. So you are being heard. We are listening. A question for you. You've talked about how some workers have been compassionate and empathetic in your interactions with them. What did they say or do to make you feel like it was a safe space for you?
Well, this last one, when I just applied, it was really her tone and her demeanor, and asking me how am I doing today, and then actually at the end of the phone call, she said she's gonna pray for me and my kids. So that kind of meant a lot, like just normally, it was one time I called the welfare office and I didn't know y'all had caller ID. She picked up the phone and said, yes, Brianna, I'm doing your case right now, and click, and hook up in my face. I said, girl, okay. So, just this Miss Moore, it was just her energy, what it was, how she listened to me, and I don't think she asked me, she didn't ask me if I was okay, but she did ask, like, in so many words, are you okay? And I'm about to send this over, and I'm gonna pray for you and your kids. And I really appreciated that, because I really needed somebody to pray for me and my kids at that time.
All right, another question. How can we remove the individual biases that affect Black and Brown applicants? What suggestions does this panel have?
Remove bias. Goodness gracious. How do we remove bias?
This is a hard one.
Let's
Yeah.
start with how we think. Let's start there. Because Black and Brown aren't the only communities that are on welfare. Even Caucasian people as well. So I think it starts with how we think, how we process our own thoughts, because black and brown, everybody's a scammer, okay? No matter what color you are. Yeah, so I definitely think that it starts with us, how we think, our thought process. You don't know Mark from Adam, so there's no way that you can judge Mark. You have no idea what he's going through. You don't know his story. You've never met that person before. So there really shouldn't be any bias, realistically. My story is different from their stories. None of us have the same story. None of us have had the same interactions. I thankfully haven't met any rude workers. I think God gifted me with that because he knew how his daughter's mouth is. Yeah, so everyone's experience is definitely different. So we just have to stop being a-holes. That's it.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit, about sorry. Lachey, talk a little bit about what we talked about this earlier, about like some of the biggest challenges you have had are workers who look like you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They are usually Black women who treat us the worst. And I have like 4 other sisters who's on welfare first. So like we already know, and we kind of like, it's kind of like this thing like, dang, the ones who get a little power, it's just like they want to just step on you and degrade you. Like I don't even understand that. I know like I sometimes be like, the white women be more nicer to us than the Black women over here. Like what? Like, and so like when we go to like spaces where they be like, like the racism starts and, they talk about like the white people that are racist towards the Black women, it's like not in my county. It's not like that in my county. It's the Black women that are like welfare queen to us. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't say the welfare queen word, but that they like,
Why you didn't sell it?
You know what I'm saying? Like that was a Black woman who told me that. Like, so yeah, and I want to say too, like it don't only happen at the welfare office. It's pretty much everywhere, at the stores, just everywhere. And I feel like sometimes it does come from a white place, because a lot of times the managers are white. And so it's like not that you want to make them happy, but you want to stay on their good side. So you're like, yeah, look what I did to them. So
I know that might have been hard to hear, right? That didn't feel good, I'm sure. And so I just want you to, if everybody could take a breath, right? Like, that was hard. And it is also not every experience of every worker or every person. So it is one person's experience. And so I just want to say that.
Well, yeah, like Jess said, everybody has different experiences. Like my last one I said was great, because, as soon as like I was missing one form, she's calling me, telling me, like leaving me a voice message saying, hey, get this in, because so I can get your paperwork done. Very next day, my boyfriend went in. He ended up becoming homeless, and because of the way he looked, the person who was helping him, and I was sitting there, I don't know if she's seen me, but I was sitting there listening to the way she was interacting with him. And it wasn't nice compared to the way my worker interacted with me. So it's like, I don't know, maybe she was having a bad day because she has a lot of, work to do, a lot on her mind, so I don't judge people like that, but it's like, as soon as she seen my boyfriend and the way he looked, she judged him right away. Especially saying homeless. I'm like, yes, I love my boyfriend, whatever, we've been together for a while, but I'm not gonna let you say you live with me when you don't, because, you don't, so you're considered homeless. So I'm not gonna mess up my stuff that I have, for him, like that, but it's like, yeah, but just seeing him, because he was dressed, a little raggedy, because he, of course, heard like everyone else, like, you go dressed in nice, they're not going to give you anything. And so he told me, he's like, I'm going to dress like this. And I was like, okay. But, just seeing him looking like that, it's like, I swear I seen the way she looked at him, and it's like she judged him right away. So, like I say, everybody's experience is different. Just like from one day to the next, I seen a difference of how people are treated.
Was that person's name Jeremy?
No,
Who was that person?
that was anonymous.
Anonymous. Mr. Anonymous, can I give you some bad news? We all have biases. we're not going to remove them. We're going to lower the boundaries that perpetuate those biases. We have to be intentional. Our brain creates biases. They're pervasive. They come up without our permission. And we have to go from that emotional limbic thought to an intentional curiosity of what am I missing? What is it that if I continue to have this thought about this person and I treat them in that specific way is going to affect them and their families? That's an intentional thought. That's something we have to do. Good news is we can do it. We just have to practice it. So, yeah. I think we have time for one more question.
Okay, one more question.
One more question.
We've got,
Make it good.
is providing alternate platforms to apply or report changes or provide verification and documents using your computer or phone helpful? Such as being able to use Benefits Cal and not visit the office. How can we improve that process?
The submitting it on the phone is very helpful because for the past maybe like 6 years, my CalWINS benefits, it's been locked because I was in the middle of a transfer from different counties, and for some reason, none of the workers are able to unlock it, or I don't know, maybe I'm not speaking to the right person, but to do the Adobe sign, it's way easier. Like my worker they either text it or they email you something, you take a picture and you upload it and it goes straight. I don't know if it goes straight to the worker, but from when I've used it so far, it just goes straight to my worker, or the worker that I'm dealing with.
One thing we have to change, maybe it's already changed. I don't think it has, but let's just say. The kiosk that's at your office. I go there, I submit my documents, I get my receipt, I'm done. Nope. Because it sits on that server and doesn't go into my file or tell anybody that I submitted those documents, right? And so making sure that those documents are actually put into the person's file right away, and that there is a little tickler or something that goes to your worker that says, Jennifer just submitted documents, please get them off the server, right? Or whatever, would be amazing.
I think she has a question over there.
There's a question right over there.
1 second.
Thank you so much for sharing all of your very powerful stories. I just wanted to ask all of the parents in the group now, what are your aspirations now, and what are your aspirations for your families and your kids?
Well, right now, I'm a CNA. I work full-time in San Francisco. I'm in the process of trying to enroll in school for LVN now. And my oldest son, my oldest son is on his way to HVAC. Yeah.
For me, I want to start my own nonprofit. I'm a photographer. I live in Long Beach in the North Side, which is kind of like the new Little Compton. If you know, you know. I want to start a nonprofit for young adults and teens. I want to teach them about politics. I want to teach them about credit. I want to teach and credit repair and photography. And also I was thinking about what she was saying with the HVAC and all that, having those resources as well. I'm already starting to do that. I do photography full time, yeah. So you're gonna see my pictures on billboards soon.
Yeah. And Delia, what's your hopes and dreams?
Well, right now I'm a medical assistant. Well, I'm on leave, of course, like I said earlier, but I return next year. But my goals basically for my family is to make sure that they're good. Like I said, my daughter now dealing with the whole depression, suicide stuff. I just want to make sure she gets out of that state. My other daughter that I have at home with me that's helping me with her, she's actually in school at Paul Mitchell, so she's doing that. And this was one of the things that I was wondering about with the whole CalWORKS stuff, because since she's in school, I should have her on my case for CalWORKS, shouldn't I? But because I have her on my CalFresh, but nope, I don't get nothing for her for that. So I was like, okay, what are the differences on those things? If I can get food stamps but not the money, even if she's in school. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. My son, he's special education, so he's finally going to be graduating. And even though he's older, he's 19, but he's finally going to be graduating because it did take him a lot longer pace from his ADHD and autism that he has. And my oldest, she's 5 years now with Panda Express and becoming an actual manager with them now. So it's like, I'm just so glad that my kids are able to provide. And now that they're like, oh, well, Mom, we're going to be helping you out, so you don't have to worry about going back on aid and this and that. I was like, you know what, you guys take care of you. I'm good right now doing the aid because I will be going back to work and I'm not going to need it again anymore for a while, hopefully. But yeah, that's basically just me, just waiting to go back to work and making sure my kids are good.
Shay, anything, any last words?
Well, we gonna transform CalWORKS, so.
That's right, yes. Yeah, my hopes and dreams are that the parents will continue to be heard, that they will be real partners in this work, that you all in this room will get what you need to make your job just a little bit easier, and that we will continue to have the opportunity to improve the system for families and to break down this system that's been holding parents back for too long.
So I just want to thank you all for being here. These dialogues are so important for us to be able to engage, to transform, to build partnerships. And so I'd like us all to give another round of applause for all of these parents here today. So, as we wrap up here, I want to encourage you all to keep these conversations going, to take these messages back to your organizations, to continue to work. I can't say that's the first time I've had a mic cut off on me. Okay. Won't be the last either. It's fine. So we want to encourage you to continue these conversations and incorporate these messages into the way that we move forward into the future. We do have a hosted lunch in this room today, so please enjoy the food, enjoy the conversations, keep connecting, keep questioning, and of course, keep building as we move forward. So thank you so much for being a part of this moment, and we will see you at our next session after lunch.